Welcome. Okay, it is that time of the year when I want fruit cake. I love it. I don't really eat it during the year. It's so expensive to buy. Oh my goodness, you get like a couple of slices for $5, $6, a little hunk rather. So I'm going to make my own. I just love it. Okay, let's start with the dry ingredients first. That's going to be 2 cups of all-purpose flour. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon powder, a half teaspoon of ground ginger powder, and a half teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and a half teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to whisk these together and set them aside so that we can move on to the wet ingredients. Okay, that is whisked enough. All right, here are our wet ingredients and our fruit. We are going to put all of the ingredients, the names and the amounts, the measurements into the description section under the video. Just hit that little word that says more. It's really tiny white word, says more. Hit that and it should open up for you. Okay, I'm using some fruitcake mix, which is candied fruit basically. Okay, I'm going to use a cup of chopped walnuts. I have butter here. I have raisins. I have sweetened. I did show you that, right? I have sweetened cranberries here. I have vanilla flavoring, brown sugar, a little vegetable oil, orange juice, and honey, and some eggs. These are all the ingredients. They will be listed in the description section under the video, as well as the measurements. Okay, let's get busy. Okay, this takes place on the stovetop. We're gonna melt this butter. We're on low heat. I'm gonna put in the sugar. And I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of honey. 1, and that's a good 2. And we're going to melt this sugar. As soon as this comes to a good simmer, you want to turn the heat off. We are simmering now. So I'm going to turn the heat off. Stirring occasionally. Now we're going to add our orange juice with the heat off. And we're going to add our fruit. Stirring well to combine it all. All fruit in. As soon as we get this stirred very well, I'm going to put in the vanilla extract. Notice we're not simmering anymore. It's just sitting there. So heat is off. We're combining everything very well. We're going to stir it to make sure it's very well mixed. Then we're going to allow this to cool. We're going to take it off the stove and allow it to completely cool down before we move any further. It has to completely cool down, okay? So I've stirred it well. It's no longer cooking. I'm going to remove it from the heat and allow it to cool completely. And we are back. Okay. This mixture has completely cooled down. And this is what it will look like once it's cooled. It's going to be thick and gooey. Now, we have 3 eggs here. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I'm going to beat this together. That's a good ASMR, isn't it? Okay, now I'm going to bring this forward and pour it right into the pot. And give it a good mix. Okay, that is mixed enough. Now we're going to add in our flour mixture. Put in about half of that. And now the remaining. And one final ingredient, 1 cup of chopped walnuts or pecans, or any nut that you might like. Fold those in. I have the oven preheating to 325 degrees. The cake will cook from about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, depending on your oven. I've lined my loaf pan, which is 9 inches by 5.5 inches. I've lined it with parchment paper, and I've sprayed the pan with baking, a basic baking spray, and just put a little in there. I'm using butter flavor. You can just grease it and flour it if you like. And I'm going to change spoons so that I can dip this better. And try to keep it as even as I can. And you don't have to actually use the candied fruit. You can actually use just dried fruit. 3 cups of dried fruit will be just fine. It doesn't have to be candied. So I'm smoothing out the top. I'm going to jiggle wiggle or wiggle jiggle. Tap it about 3 times. And that's it. Into the oven it goes. A preheated oven, 325 degrees. It's going to bake an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, maybe a little less, maybe just a few minutes more. Okay, ooh, that smells so good. The fruit cake is out of the oven. I'm going to put some honey on top. A little honey or jelly of your choosing on the top is awesome. Now this has to cool down for quite some time. I'm going to allow it to cool down for a little while, then we're going to take it out of the pan and let it finish cooling. It has been about 20 minutes, and this is still very, very hot. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Now the next phase of cooling is going to be a very long time, hours probably. Absolutely. Now we have homemade, delicious, made from scratch fruitcake. Holiday ready. Thank you so much for watching.